So you know how it is. You got lubricant all over your hand. Some screwing needs to be done. Your tool keeps slipping out of your hands, and it just gets frustrating. Problem is that the tool that you need in your hands needs to be made out of hardwood. And yeah, that's where these guys come in. Me personally, as far as wood gripped screwdrivers go, I've had a few here and there. You know, you see them at the flea market. They seem like they're in pretty decent shape. You pick it up for $5 and you throw it in your toolbox and you use it until there's nothing left of them, and then you throw them away. Wood gripped screwdrivers are normally inherently expensive just because, well, I mean, wood does grow on trees, but it can be expensive, and there's a lot of waste to find the right kind of wood or the right piece of wood to stick into a handle where it's not just going to fall apart in the customer's hands. So Vessel came up with a new idea, which is a Wood-Compo. We'll get into that a little bit later. And yeah, I haven't taken these out of the package yet. They're still in the plastic wrap, so I want to kind of give you my first impressions live on the old video there. I did do a video a bunch of months back on some Williams screwdrivers. We'll be comparing them to them. I still love those Williams screwdrivers. They're great screwdrivers. But yeah, this thing just kind of popped up into my, hey, you should buy this, consumer, Amazon homepage there. And yeah, their price was right. I think they were a little over $60, which for a Japanese tool and a wood grip tool is pretty decent. The yen is having a little bit of problems. It just keeps the red Shocky line keeps going down, and I think it's kind of starting to make Japanese tools a little bit more affordable for the rest of the world. The Japanese, they make good stuff. You can't argue with that. And yeah, so let's get into these. So starting off, we'll get into the specs before we take a look at them. These are Vessel Wood-Compo 8-piece screwdriver kit. They are made with Tatara, I guess is the word. It's basically just a steel manufacturing thing that Japan invented with katana swords, and I think no one would really argue that Japanese steel is pretty darn good. Right up there with German steel and American steel. I would be so bold to add on the thing. The Wood-Compo. Wood-Compo, it looks like, from what best I could see, is they take sawdust and they mix it with some kind of resin or what have you, and they actually mold a wood composite handle out of the thing. We're going to see if they've succeeded with that. These are all JIS, which stands for Japanese Industrial Standard. Little history on that. Long story short, early 20th century, some dude in America, he invented the Phillips screw, which was basically made for manufacturing. It causes the screw to cam out of the screw before it gets too tight and breaks the head off. And yeah, he couldn't do anything with it. So a couple of decades later, some other dude, Henry Phillips, I might have just made that up. Yeah, he was a little bit better salesman, and he got the thing implemented in widespread use in the United States. And then post-World War II, some Japanese dude came up with this JIS, which the JIS doesn't cam out. It's more of a positive grip onto a Phillips screw. Anyone who's ran drywall screws in with the bit, you know, you get down to the end there and it starts camming out, whereas to the JIS screws are less prone to doing that, is what they're telling me. I don't think I've ever owned a JIS screw driver set, so this is going to be a first for me. And yeah, we're going to see how they go. The actual kit comes with slotted head, 6-inch 15/16, a 6-inch 1/4 inch, a 3-inch 3/16, and a stubby 1-inch at a 1/4 inch. As far as the JIS, or not slotted head, but cross head, not Phillips, but Phillips, you get a 6-inch, 3-inch, 6-inch number 3, 6-inch number 2, a 3-inch number 1, and a 1-inch stubby number 2. So, yeah, I mean, that's about it as far as the specs go on the thing. So let's flip the camera down, open up the package, and see what they feel like in the hand. All right, these are them in the old package there. Not much to see on the front. Reverse side is all the specs that we've already gone over. So let's kind of slide these guys out of the package. And that'll work just fine. Well, there we go. And you get stickers. How much fun is that? Alright, well, I mean, we got that upside down for one, so let's fix that. Now, I will say, and this is something a lot of tool companies are doing, which I 100% approve of, is these new little drawer organizers that you could stick in your toolbox drawer to keep them all together. So much better than those old blow mold cases that just take up all the space in your toolbox. Me personally, I'll be running these out of a tool bag, but I'll hold on to this just in case sometime in the future these end up in the actual toolbox. So, yeah, let's say we get them out of the case here and see what's going on with these things. All right, there we go. As I said in the beginning of the video, 3 crosshead, 3 slotted heads, and 2 stubbies. Now, looking at the actual handle on these things, you got the vessel branding, you got the metric sizes on the thing, non-skid grip, non-slip grip. You could see kind of an injection molded. Like I said, as far as I could tell, they're taking sawdust, mixing it with some type of resin, I'm guessing, and just oozing it into a mold. As far as the grip goes, I mean, it feels like a wood screwdriver. It kind of has a, I don't know if you can really see it on the camera there, but it kind of has like a porous look to it, but it's definitely got a nice solid plastic feel to it there. And one thing I did forget to mention, these have a full, I almost said tang, which I think that's more of a knife thing, a full shank, so you got the metal going all the way through to the handle, and a little end right here for striking it, which of course you're not supposed to do with a screwdriver, but again, that's kind of a staple of Japanese manufacturing. You know, they know you're not going to do the right thing with it, so they kind of try to mitigate anything that you would do to it. I wonder if I could feel where the shank going up with the metal. Let me get a magnet. All right, we got a little neodymium magnet here, and it's kind of thick, but it definitely goes all the way through the handle, and of course it sticks on the end there. Now, comparing them to my go-to screwdrivers for the past few months, I did a video on these Williams screwdrivers that I found, which I said I'll link the video at the end so you can click on it if you're interested. But Williams makes snap-on screwdrivers, and I bought these for, I think, a quarter, maybe even less of the price than I paid for the snap-on ones. And yeah, I've always liked the classic black handle snap-on screwdrivers. I bought these, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with these particular screwdrivers. One thing I'm looking at right off the bat, the vessel compared to the Williams over here, the vessels do not have the little helper hex on the end for when you really got to get into it and give it a little bit extra. This would be a number 2, I'm believing. Is that right? Yeah, number 2 Phillips and the number 2 vessel. The difference between the tips between JIS and Phillips, you're really not going to be able to see on camera, especially with a black tip there. But yeah, I mean, there's the end of the tip is a little lower profile, and the actual contour of the Phillips is a little different compared to the JIS, which makes it, again, less likely to cam out. And another thing I didn't mention in the beginning of the video, the vessel screwdrivers, the tips are magnetized. Some people like that, some people don't like it. I could go either way. It's not a deal breaker or maker for me, but apparently I grabbed stainless steel screws, so let me get some steel screws. There we go, without having to take a trip out to the truck. yeah, I mean, it's not overwhelming like you would get with a neodymium magnet, but I mean, it's enough to pick a screw up, which is all you really want to do with the thing. So, I mean, what's a screwdriver video if you don't at least attempt to drive a screw? Like I said, they're not going to get too deep in the woods as far as testing these things. This is kind of just a in the hand type of feel, and you'll have to take my opinion for it. This was from an earlier video where I laid out some stuff, and I had a couple of screws just sitting in this, and it just so happened to be a thing that's sitting by, and it seems like the screws are pretty tight. So this would be, or pretty tight, I should say. This would be the Williams number 2 screwdriver sitting in the old screw there, which I don't know if you can see, but that screw is a little chewy from when I ran it in with a 1/4 inch impact driver, and we are camming out with the standard Phillips, and I'm guessing this would be the number 2 of the vessel one, and I could I already feel this. Yeah, I could already feel it. I'm like totally off camera here, but I could kind of feel it as far as the tightening goes, where it's worn a little bit. The Williams is kind of trying to cam out, whereas to the vessel one, it seems like it sits deeper into the Phillips screw, which I've always been told that JIS works better on Phillips than Phillips screws do. And it came down a little there, but like I said, this thing's a little chewy. This one looks like it's in better shape. Yeah, you can see too, the JIS has got a flatter head, which I think is part of the reason what lets it engage further into the Phillips screw. Yeah, that is much better. Let me try the Phillips on that. Yeah, I'm having to put a lot more. I'm way out of frame here. You can kind of see what I'm doing, but I'm having to put a lot more down pressure to keep this Phillips from camming out compared to the JIS vessel screw. Oh, absolutely, for sure. Nice thing is too is that they got the little impactor on the end, so sometimes when you get these Phillips screws and they're all wallered out, you just put a screwdriver in them like this, so you can actually see it, and you give it a good whack on there, and it kind of reshapes the end of the head there. But yeah, I mean, if my opinion's worth anything, it does seem like the vessel screwdrivers do engage a little bit better into a Phillips screw. I don't have any JIS screws handy, so testing complete, I guess. Now, there you go. That is the vessel wood composite JIS screwdriver kit. And yeah, out of the box, they seem good enough. They do seem like they bite on Phillips screws, at least moderately better than a traditional Phillips screwdriver. I will say, again, these Williams screwdrivers, they're awesome. They're definitely worth the money, but I mean, what's it hurt to try something new? So the Williams kit will end up in the toolbox, and I'll throw these on the bag and give them a good run for the next however many months, and that way there I come back to you at some point in time and give you a good opinion on them. I mean, I might be running these for a couple of weeks before I even post this video, because I just checked before I recorded this, and there's only 17 left in stock, so I like to at least be able to give you a link that you could click on. And the second video, where right after I recorded it, I realized that there was none in stock. There's another one, which that video might just end up being trashed, because the product that I was looking at is hard to find anywhere else aside from Amazon. So if that never comes back in stock and I can't find a decent link for you guys, it's a big old waste of time. It's one of the funs of doing tool reviews. But yeah, like I said, I'll put a link down in the thing with these. If I can't get a link for these because they come out of stock and never come back in, I'll see if I can come up with another place to for you guys to buy these things. So yeah, that's about it as far as the screwdrivers go. I know you guys always ask me about my t-shirts. This is a Foo Bar and Grill t-shirt, which is merch from a guy, Task and Purpose. He does military type videos, equipment, things of that nature. I really like him, and I always try to support creators that I like, which sounds self-serving, but I don't have any merch. So yeah, yeah, that's where I got it from. I'll link his channel in the thing. It's a cool t-shirt. I bought it, and I like it, and it's reasonably priced. And another channel update is that I got a B camera for me, which is a Sony ZV-1F, which is a slightly downgraded camera than the one that I'm using, which is the Sony ZV-1 that I usually use for my stuff. But this is a little bit cheaper, and I've lost footage on, well, I've lost footage on 3 videos in the past year with GoPros because GoPros suck and they just like to corrupt files, and there's no clear indication that the stupid thing's even recording, or if it's even recording sound. So I gave up on GoPros, and now this will be my cheap B camera. And in this video I used it for my facing down, so if I do everything right, you won't even notice a difference, hopefully, but we'll see in the final edit. But yeah, that's about it as far as channel updates go. And yeah, I think that's about it for this video. Questions, comments, concerns, leave them down in the old section there, and I'll do my best to get back to you. And I'd like to thank you for watching. There you go.